some specific information. I'll go to the research design. I'll be talking about the purpose, the hypothesis, materials, procedure, results, and conclusion. So to start off, what is bullying? Bullying is a willful, conscious desire to hurt, threaten, or frighten someone. There are 6 words that correspond to the word bullying that are really important for you to know. The first word is intent. When a bystander watches someone watches a bully a victim, they should have the intent, which is the desire to create an impact to help the victim in one way or another. The second word is the word hurt. It's a physical, psychological, or social pain. It's down in this picture right here. It's a girl who feels hurt. It's like basically when a bully hurts a person, when a bully bullies a victim to the point where they feel discluded, angry, where they don't feel like they're confident anymore, when they don't like themselves. The third word is repetition. Repetition is normally in most bullying situations, the bully targets one person for a long period of time, due to the fact that the bully feels like they have so much more power over that one person. The fourth word is the word duration. It's the length of time that bullying can occur. It can occur only once and cause a dramatic impact on the victim's life, or it can occur multiple times and cause an even bigger impact. The fifth word is the word power. It's basically who has the power in the situation. In different types of bullying, the power is interchangeable. For example, in physical bullying, the power is just within the bully. But in cyberbullying, the power is within both the bully and the victim. And the last word is the word provocation. It's what caused the bullying. What did the victim do to provoke the bully into bullying this certain person? What is physical bullying? Physical bullying is when the bully uses body actions to hurt the victim in any way. This can be kicking, punching, hitting, pinching, or any physical attack. Sexual harassment is when one is touched where they do not want to be touched. Physical bullying can most likely lead to the point where it can be considered sexual harassment. Physical bullies have trouble with self-control. They usually get in trouble in school. They don't care for others, and in the future, they are at a higher risk of being a criminal. The victims of physical bullying, they're usually socially excluded due to their appearances or the fact that people might find them awkward or strange in any way. They have low self-esteem, they go into depression a lot, and they don't cause violence, but a majority of the time they're involved in it, and they get into trouble a lot for just simple reasons that they shouldn't get in trouble for. How do you know when one's being physically bullied? They come home from anywhere with unexplained injuries. They have mood swings all the time. They want to run away. They talk about committing suicide, and they want to harm others. They want to get revenge. Cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is when a child or a teenager is harassed, tormented, or threatened by using some digital devices. It only happens between minors, which is really important. Cyberbullying does not occur within adults. If an adult is harassing a child online, it is considered cyberstalking. Cyberbullying can lead to the point where a child can commit suicide because it can hurt the victim to where the victim is upset and doesn't feel like they're wanted in any which way. So there was an incident in New Jersey at Rutgers University where Ravi and Tyler were both roommates. He was considered to be the bully in the situation. He was considered to be the victim. What happened was he went ahead and his roommate Tyler was a homosexual had a guy in his room for one night. Ravi put a bunch of video cameras, taped him up against the wall all around the room, and videotaped his roommate Tyler kissing another man and put it all over Facebook. This caused over 100 likes and views, and Tyler to be bullied throughout the school day in college. And even when you go online, all the comments were hurtful, mean, and offensive. Tyler was so upset that he jumped off of a bridge the next day. This caused Ravi to be fined $10,000 with 30 days of jail time. It was originally supposed to have 10 years of jail time. After multiple court trials and with a good lawyer, Ravi got down to 30 days of jail time, 30 hours of community service, and fined $10,000. More on cyberbullying. The reason why cyberbullying is so easy to do is because we are surrounded by technology all the time. We always have phones with us, or a laptop or computer, or even if we don't have access to those things, we always find a way to talk to one another online. Cyberbullying can be caused either because you want revenge on a person and the easiest way to do it is online, or because you're bored and you mean it as a joke at first. Even though you may mean it as a joke, it can always turn into something more, which ends up hurting the victim. So there was a study conducted on how cyberbullying and physical bullying are related. So the purpose was to see how. The hypothesis was cyberbullying and physical bullying are not connected in any way, and they're completely separate identities on their own. They used private school children. They used 17,551 private school children from one district. 49% of the private school children were females, causing the children to be equally distributed between males and females. They made a questionnaire asking questions that would help determine which kind of bullying is more common, and they recorded and examined the results. Their questions were basically like, have you witnessed bullying in your school? Have you seen bullying, what kind of bullying did you see? If you went on and checked your Facebook or your Twitter or your Skype, or if you went on and checked any of your online accounts, if you have any, would you see someone post anything mean, or even as a joke online? And if so, what did they say? So there was a lot of elaborating questions, and the children who took this test were under oath to be completely honest. So basically the results show that cyberbullying to a person, 0.725 people of the results. Basically 72% of the people were cyberbullied. People who are, when I say verbal bullying here, I mean basically physical bullying. But verbal bullying is in there wasn't any, in private school, since the teachers were around them all the time, there wasn't any actual hitting or pinching, but there was always threats towards that. So verbal bullying, 84% of the kids have been threatened in private schools in this study that to be either hit, punched, kicked, or in any which form. Verbal bullying that's been conducted, 23%, and cyberbullying that's been done is 64%. They're highly correlated. All the results are highly correlated between the fact that either cyberbullying, the cyberbullies have usually bullied and been a victim, and the physical bullies have either been just a victim or just a bully. They've never been interrelated. So then another study was conducted to see why that happens. Why does the cyberbully always become either the victim or why is the physical bully either a victim or a bully, when in cyberbullying, the bully can be both the victim and the bully? So the materials, they used 675 private school children and 62% were female. They asked the participants 9 questions that related to what the role each person plays in cyberbullying, and then compare the results. Basically, this is a chart that shows 90% of the people have been both a cyberbully and a cyber victim, and 10% of the people have been just a cyber victim. From the 9 questions asked, the researchers concluded that the victim and the bully are interchangeable because the victim feels that they can seek revenge. Out of the 9 questions that were asked, the researchers realized that when you cyberbully, you feel like you can have power. You feel like you can get revenge. You can get power over the person who bullied you. You don't have to see them. You don't have to. You're not afraid of them. Whether or not they're bigger, taller, or stronger than you, it doesn't matter. But with physical bullying, the bully is usually taller, stronger, bigger, and just scarier than the victim is. So the victim doesn't feel like they can ever get power back, so they can ever get control. So we should put an end to bullying. The best way to do it is to keep parents involved. If one were to tell their parents everything, the parents can put a stop to it. If you keep your passwords safe, if you don't tell anyone your passwords, no one can hack your account. If no one hacks your account, no one can put the blame on you for something else that you didn't do. And you should just treat others the way you want to be treated, because it's just common courtesy. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Shreya?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Mandloi. You mentioned that cyberbullying couldn't happen between adults, and then you showed us a result where college students who are of the adult age were bullying one another.
They were still considered, they're not when I say adults, I mean basically done with college, basically they're in the working profession. It's not considered cyberbullying then. But in this incident, it caused the child to commit suicide. It caused this man to commit suicide. So it was like a certain case that was considered cyberbullying.
So what would it be considered if I started sending Miss Alonso demeaning or rude comments on Facebook or on through the email or something like that? What would that be
It would just be
considered?
considered like threats almost, like it wouldn't be considered cyberbullying to the point where like you'd have to get other people involved, like
So-
anyone of like major authority involved. But these kids were still in college, they were still in like dorms, they were still like under adult supervision basically, because they were under like the dorm tenancy, so.
And it was defined that way in the study that bullying cannot occur.
Yeah.
So bullying is children or younger people.
Cyberbullying, physical bullying can be any age.
Okay. So the distinction between the two is not based on the word bully itself, since you could bully another adult. Seems like a strange distinction, don't you think?
It could be peculiar, but physical bullying is more like, it's more like if you, like as you said, if you were to go abuse Miss Alonso in any way, I apologize, but if you were to go abuse Miss Alonso in any way, I mean, that can be considered bullying because she has like her rights to like fight back. But and even through cyberbullying, she has her rights to fight back. But it's not cyberbullying because it's like there's no one of authority that could stop it. You know, like in this college situation, there's people of authority that could have prevented this from happening,
Okay.
but there wasn't anyone.
Thank you.
Yes. It happened. Well, Tyler committed suicide 2 years ago. So, but this case just ended last month. Yes, Mr. Simon.
Do you know like any programs on bullying?
Can you rephrase that question?
Wait, like, do you know any programs that they can help stop bullying? Or
There are like basically the government itself is trying to enforce laws in different states to like put an end to bullying, but at the same time it like still occurs. And there are different programs, like, I don't know the names of them, but for kids who like for victims who've been bullied and for bullies, like they can go like the boys can go for therapy and stuff, and the victims can go to therapy to get over the depression. But there's no like specific program for it to all like end. So there's like bully awareness stuff and that kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ernst?
Yes, Ms. Mandloi, you mentioned that in the first study, students were under oath to tell the truth about whether or not they had been bullied, whether they had done bullying. Do you find it strange that there's almost a mathematical impossibility that the percentage of students that were bullied and had been bullied in that same school situation, there was such a higher amount of people that felt that they had been bullied and a lower number felt that they had bullied others. But then in the second study, you showed that it was almost 100% of the people had both done the bullying and had received the bullying. Do you think that that calls into question the accuracy of the first study, or do you just think it's a matter of perception, that more students perceive being bullied than having bullied others?
I think it's a matter of perception, but because in the second study it was more like straightforward because it was just like basically 9 questions asked. It was straightforward, like have you bullied, have you not bullied, right? And they gave, when the questionnaire was handed out, they gave examples of what would be considered bullying and what would not be considered bullying. So, since the second study was more straightforward, it was easy to get like a whole like 90% and like 10%. But for the first study, it was more like there was multiple questions, so the results would have varied. But it all comes down to that like cyberbullying can happen between both. Cyberbullying, the victim and the bully are interchangeable.
So, but do you think that calls into question the accuracy of the first because it's based on their perception?
Yeah.
Or
It's like, I feel like the first one could be based off of perception, because it's like the wide screen questions, like your answers may vary. So it could be perception for the first one that might have led to
And lastly, you mentioned that the best way to stop bullying is to talk to parents to do certain things. Did you find a study to support that recommendation? I think common sense says, yeah, I would agree with that, but in terms of a scientific approach, do you have a source for that?
It was just like at the end of the article kind of thing, like why you should stop bullying, like how like reason, like different ways you can stop bullying. But there was no like study conducted. Like I haven't found a study conducted on it, but I can look for one and get back to you.
Good job, Ms. Mandloi.